The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has attributed the stability in the country to the activities of the G5 governors in the country. Well, Wike says he said this during a meeting with concerned stakeholders of the People's Democratic Party in Abuja. Present at the meeting were the former governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, former governor of Abia State, Okezie-Ikpeazu, National Secretary of the PDP, Sam Anyanwu, serving and former lawmakers of the party, and delegates from the 36 states and the FCT. Well, the FCT Minister Wike explained the stance of the G5 governors during the 2023 elections. Notably, the governors' refusal to support the candidacy of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, adding that the party wouldn't be where it is today if it had listened to them. While in a communique read by Wike at the end of the meeting, the stakeholders asked for the presidential ticket of the party to be zoned to the south in 2027. Well, we're now joined by Dickson, Iroegbu, member of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, and public affairs commentator, and our own Sumner Sambo, Arise Director of News and Politics Editor. Thank you, both of you, for joining us on News Night tonight. Well, let me start with you, Iroegbu. It does look like for the PDP, the problem has the solution, if you can unravel that. But what do you make of this stakeholders meeting that's been held, and some of the suggestions that have come out therefrom? For example, Wike is insisting that he says the PDP will not die, and he goes further to recommend how the PDP will not die. Number one, he insists that based on the Supreme Court judgment, Sam Anyanwu remains the national secretary of the party, and that power must go to the south.
And those points I agree absolutely with the Honorable Minister for FCT, even though I have said in different forums that I'm not his fan. But as a member of the party, the points are valid. One, we have only one national secretary, and that is Senator Samuel Anyanwu. The injury that that very office brought upon the party is self-inflicted, and that's where the governors of the party, including the ones that have said to defected to APC now, that is where they didn't show leadership, because the brouhaha was unnecessary. I was just wondering what it was about, because the constitution of the party is clear. Section 47(5), as quoted by the FCT minister there, is clear. It's optional for any executive member of the party to either resign if he wants to go for any elective office out there. It's optional. The constitution says that the person may choose to resign. So where they got the other camp, where they got the confusion that got this party to the level where we are now to end up in court, because before now PDP has always said that we're a big family and that we have internal ways of solving our problem. And I was waiting for, some of us were waiting for that internal mechanism to solve the problem, but they allowed it to linger in court, and then of course it ended at the Supreme Court. Even when it ended at the Supreme Court, they still continued with misinterpreting the ruling of the Supreme Court, which was clear that yes, you should go home and sort your problem. And the home going now is not without recognizing what we have enshrined in our constitution, which is that this is optional for this person. And so if he didn't resign and all of that, and didn't win the ticket, and there are instances of people in the party who sought to, be elected in one office or the other. Current governor of Taraba State, for instance, was the chairman of the party at the time that he sought to become governor. He was still chairman of the party at the state level until when he got sworn in as governor. The current deputy publicity secretary of the party also sought to become governor of KB State. And when he didn't win, he came back, and he's currently sitting as the deputy publicity secretary. Okay. So what was the difference here? The Anyanwu issue was that the governors of PDP got involved in a proxy war. They were fighting their former colleague, and they now sought to fight their former colleague through his friend, who is the national secretary. Okay. And that's what got us here. The final one that the group highlighted clearly, of course, power is presently in southern Nigeria, and if the party does not correct that mistake we made in 2023, well, I don't know whether it will become carcass, but PDP would have probably become a shadow of itself. But I hope we're looking towards the direction of ensuring that 2027,
okay,
you know, that the power comes back to Southern Nigeria.
I don't want to use the APC slogan, perhaps renewed hope for the PDP.
No, there's no renewed hope.
There's no
renewed
hope. Okay,
it's
so
renewed shege.
Okay, great. But it's interesting your perspective, because we recall that you've done a 360 as a party, and the organs of the highest organs of your party have decided who should be the national secretary. But let me bring in Sumner Sambo to this conversation. I mean, Sumner, do you want to react to some of the things he said? But most importantly, when you hear Minister Wike claim to preserve PDP as a party and insist that it will not die, but he's actively campaigning for a President Bola Tinubu's re-election in 2027, and he says they will zone the party to the south, are you able to understand what Minister Wike is doing here?
Thank you so much at this one. Good evening to our viewers. It's a very difficult time democratically for Nigerians because of this kind of set of leaders that we've had. I mean, Wike is actually speaking from two sides of his mouth, and it's contradictory because it's actually getting a lot of the electorate confused, because many people are wondering why such a statement will be coming from him when he has already given his full backing. But well, constitutionally, whatever he's saying, it's not against it's not against the Constitution. I mean, he has a right to support whoever he wants, but as a loyal party member, it actually calls to question where his loyalty lies. Now he's saying that he doesn't want PDP to die as a political party, and then of course he has said that he will lead the campaigns of PDP in Rivers State that eventually culminate in President Tinubu being re-elected. And of course, it will actually take you to the issues that we've had in the period, into this Fourth Republic that we've had. In the days of Ahmadu Ali as a PDP national chairman, for example, can a Wiki be in the party and still be making this kind of comments? So people are saying that PDP lacks discipline, and that discipline has got it to where it is. And so people like Nyesom Wiki actually exploring the loopholes within the party and exploiting it to his benefit. And as it stands, some of the agitations that he has made are actually good. I mean, we would want a situation whereby the politics of Nigeria is actually played in such a way that the North and South agreement is actually, held forth very well. And then, of course, it's at the heart of the conversation that they're having right now. I mean, ahead of the convention in August, the fight actually is on where the national chairmanship of the PDP should be zoned to right now. And that's why you saw Wiki, bringing all the stakeholders together, because there's a push by certain elements in the PDP for the national chairman of the PDP to be zoned to the south ahead of the PDP convention in August. And if that happens, then that means the presidential candidate of the party in 2027 will come from the north. And that is what Wike is trying to fight against. They are saying that after Buhari has held 8 years in power, that there's no reason why the presidential candidate of the party in 2027 should actually come from the north again. So, I mean, you would have seen him bringing together all of these people and using very strong words and saying that the PDP is not a monarchy as a political party, and as they are concerned, they want a situation whereby all elements of the party are given fair hearing. And I think Minister Wike is right. But of course, he should be very careful in his choice of words while trying to agitate for his rights, including people like Samuel Otom and all of that. Because if they do not know how to mince their words together, how to actually push the agitations, then of course it may lead to sour grapes being thrown around. But some other party leaders like Bukola Saraki, who's leading the national reconciliation effort, you see that there's an effort to unite them. And people are saying, political analysts and observers are saying that PDP should not be allowed to die because it's a national institution. And I think for the APC too, it's in its own interest not to allow PDP to die, because PDP somehow, being a former governing party, has become an institution within our current democratic practice.
Iroegbu, let me bring this back to you. I mean, can you even envisage a situation? Yes, Sumner has made a point there that there is a chance that the PDP may zone the national chairmanship to the South, meaning that the presidential candidate in 2027 may come from the North. But imagine a situation where maybe the PDP actually reads the room correctly and decides that the presidential candidate should come from the South, based on what Wike is saying. Do you think, is it even possible that Wike could now decide clearly and, support whoever the Southern candidate would be for the PDP?
Thank you. First off, like I stated earlier, I'm sure the party has learned from the mistake of 2023.
No, but it's not looking like it,
no,
based on what Sumner said, that there are chances that the presidential candidate could go to the North.
No, there is no chance like that. There is only one candidate from the North who is disrupting this future that the party has, and that is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. His aspiration in 2023 got us here. If he, after getting the ticket of the party, in 2019, because in 2018, when we were going for primaries of the party, it was clear the ticket was zoned to northern Nigeria because a northerner was in power at that time and wasn't performing well. And what the party leaders got together to agree was, okay, we have to go back to the north and look for a more credible candidate that would come and salvage the nation from the ruins that Buhari got us into at that time. So the ticket was zoned to the north. And it happened the way it happened, and we lost. It was expected of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar to show leadership, to now say, okay, it's the turn of southern Nigeria. So, and he had succeeded in raising one southeasterner, to the national scene, and that is Peter Obi here, by making him his vice. If Alhaji Atiku Abubakar had done the right thing and said, I'm supporting Peter Obi, we won't be here. So, the 2027, the party is realigning and looking towards correcting that mistake of 2023. It's not possible that we would go south for chairmanship because we know the implication. If you go south, that means the candidate, would definitely come from the north. But of course, if you recall also, that was also what informed the decision of the G5 governors not to work for the candidate of the party, because when we had the northerner as the chairman of the party, we had a convention and through the ticket open, and then a northern candidate, a northerner emerged as the candidate of the party.
Yeah.
Now the southerners, the stakeholders from southern Nigeria only sought for, where is our turn? Where is our own cut in this whole sharing formula? Where the candidate of the party is now from the north, the chairman of the party is from the north, and the DG of the campaign was from the north. That was what informed the position of the G5 governors now swinging towards supporting the current president. So,
and that's likely to happen again.
No, it won't happen if, that's why I said, if the party is able to redeem itself, realign, having felt the pulse of the Nigerian people, and correct that mistake. We shouldn't even just be talking about zoning. Let me land, please, just this moment.
Because we have to wrap up. We
shouldn't even just be talking about zoning anymore. The party should take a consensus position. And it's in our constitution too. Consensus to the southeast.
Okay, all right.
That's clearly where it should go to now.
Sambo,
consensus, and all of this brouhaha
you have the
will
last
end
word
immediately.
on this conversation as we wrap up quickly. Mr. Wiki also said G5 helped save Nigeria from a national crisis. What was he talking about? When critics argue that he actually fractured the PDP and got them to where they are. And can they really, with that big if that Mr. Iroegbu talked about, can they really redeem themselves?
Well, they cannot really regain themselves. The only oxygen that the G5 former governors have right now is Nyesom Wike being an appointee of President Bola Tinubu. And of course, if you remove the wings of being a minister from Nyesom Wike right now, all these people who gathered there will naturally become irrelevant within the PDP political hierarchy. I can tell you that. So the only oxygen that they are breathing right now at the moment is that there's a Nyesom Wike who is a minister under the Tinubu-led federal government, and of course he's holding a very key political position. If you look at what's going on within the PDP, you see that the likes of Bukola Saraki are asking for the presidential ticket of the PDP to be left open, and then this national chairmanship ahead of August for it to be left open, so that certain things can be done and there will be healing. But of course, some Southerners within the party are saying that this may actually create the same mood that happened in 2023, where this was left open, like Atiku had canvassed, and of course, Atiku himself took advantage of it. And Atiku Abubakar himself is not really helping matters. Now, you're going to form a coalition with people, you're not going with your political party. I would think that the ideal thing is that if you're going into a coalition, it's the political parties that should be building a momentum and talking on behalf of others to build the coalition. But when you have individuals like Atiku Abubakar going alone to go and build a coalition, it's not helping the democratic system. And that's why I see a lot of people like Nyesom, Wiki are also angry. But you have those shining lights like Bukola Saraki within the party who are engaging in this reconciliation and see how things will be. But of course, it's not also left out that if the mood becomes very good for Saraki he can actually decide to take advantage of it to contest for the presidency. Just like Bala Mohammed is also doing the same. You see that Bala Mohammed too has been fighting. Some of this fight is not actually in the interest of the party members or Nigerians, but they just want to fly the flag of the party. And of course, this North-South divide will continue. But in the interest of justice, where should the party's ticket go? A lot of party members are saying that it should go to the South. But of course, can the Northerners also be allowed to just go like that? When if you look at since 1999 till date, within the PDP, the South has held the ticket more than the North. So these are the permutations, and it's only patriots that can come to save Nigeria's former party. But the APC should be learning from this, because whatever is happening can also happen to the APC tomorrow. All you just need to do is to lose power, and then all of a sudden, all of these elements come together, and they just want to have a bite of the former party at the center. So it's a dicey situation, and we just hope that the electorate will be wiser, and then we can see how to arrange ourselves ahead of the 2027 elections.
I'm sure for Nigerians, let the best man that can take Nigeria to promised land emerge. Dickson, Iroegbu, I know you're itching to respond to that, but unfortunately, we really have to go. As Dickson Iroegbu is a member of PDP, public affairs analyst also, and Sumner Sambo, Arise News director and politics editor. Maybe I should leave us with this. You know, it was Fela that said demonstration of grace. That's how he defined our democracy, and we hope that will not come to fruition. Thank you both of you.